Yes, sirree, baby. That's how it's done. We did it. That was ridiculous. There is so much to get into today, and we're going to get into all of it right now. Oh my God, what a game. I never saw the vast majority of that happening, honestly, but most important thing, main takeaway, if you're going to click off right now, is that this is how Champions League winners perform in the Champions League. This is a fight that I think we've seen a little bit of from this team this season, like in the last Benfica game, but this was a brutal battle that I didn't know we had in us. Honestly, we went down a man, it being Kubarsi of all people. We'll get into the tackle, we'll get into all our ratings, and we'll get into how the game went. But unbelievable fight from the boys. Really, really good defensive work from everyone. Chesney was on another level. There was some buff that happened with his abilities when the Benfica fans were throwing these flares all over the place, man. It was just like the cigarette smoke was hitting him in the right way. This guy was turning it up. And I the only thing I can think of is thanking the Benfica fans for all that smoke that changed his lungs into the most comfortable place he has ever been. He was incredible, absolutely incredible today. Easily the man of the match. And Alisson also in the Liverpool game is definitely their man of the match. It's actually ridiculous that two goalkeepers in three of the most exciting games were the man of the match. And then, and Leverkusen's was the worst part of it. But getting into our team, focusing back on this game, we're going to focus on the Kubarsi tackle first because that happened very early on after a period that was, I think, similar to what we should have expected from Benfica, right? Where it was intense from them, a good counterattacking style where they just try and boot the ball forward, break the high line, and they did it a couple times, but Chesney was there, and the guys were defensively solid enough. We created a couple chances in that period where I'd argue we should have scored, where we bobbled the ball back between Lamine, Rafinha, and Lewandowski, or Danny, Lamine, and Lewandowski, and it was unfortunate that it didn't go in, but it is what it is. And then Kubarsi went off in a foul. It's a red card every day of the week, honestly. He was catching up with Pavlidis. He is behind him. He tries to put in a tackle that I'd argue he does 4 out of 5 times. We've seen him do that against Osimhen in the Champions League last season. He did it against Vinny Jr. earlier this year, I believe, or last year. He's done it countless times where he's able to get around a person, put in a good tackle, and get contact on the ball. Today, he didn't get contact on the ball. He went over it. I think it's unlucky, but it's a red card because it's outside the box, and he was the last man. So it's the right call. It's not the best decision by Kubarsi, but it's also something we've seen him do. And it's not the same thing as the Araujo play last year because this isn't the last game, right? We have another attempt, and especially one at home against this team. So even if this game went poorly because of Kubarsi, there is time to redeem ourselves, where the Araujo one feels more desperate, especially when he just kind of pulled him down and clipped him instead of actually putting a tackle in and being unlucky with that tackle. It's not the same thing, but it is a bad tackle, not a great decision from Kubarsi. I'd much rather have been down one than have had to fight like the way we did, but it doesn't really matter because we won, right? We ended up pulling it out. The team showed up. It was difficult in the beginning. The ref was having trouble. There was a lot of energy in the stadium, so I'd understand having difficulty in a match like that, but they calmed down. Pedri was incredible. Frankie de Jong was really good as well. Balde, Koundé, Araujo, when he came in, was these guys had it. We're going to get into the ratings and just walk through the game, though, that way, because I could go on and on. This game was genuinely such a stressful watch, but at the same time, I'm so incredibly proud of the boys. And even if it was a draw, I would have been so proud of the boys. And I think probably if we're looking at what was fair to happen, it probably would have been a draw, but whatever, we won. That is what it is. They finished terribly, and Chesney is the GOAT. So let's do the rating. Chesney, a 10 out of 10. He did take down a player. He probably would have been a penalty in a situation where he didn't need to hit his hands, but it ended up being offside. This high line stuff is just working out, man. It's just crazy. I gotta be careful being an American raising my hand like that nowadays. But nonetheless, great work from Chesney today. He deserves a ton of credit. And, I was losing my mind on Big Up like a lot of the guys were today. And actually, I do want to announce that they're having a giveaway on Big Up where anybody who joins gets 5 or 50 big bucks for free, which is like their Twitch bits. And I think it equates to like 50 cents. But if you watch this, if you join, you create an account, which is completely free, and you watch my stream this weekend on Saturday for 3 minutes, you get 50 big bucks for free. And you can send that to me or any other creator. And that way I can make some money off you guys, which is always welcomed because I just spent so much money for this Barcelona trip. But the shilling aside, the links will be down below and everything. Moving to the back line. I'm going to start with Kubarsi, and I'm going to give him a 5. I think he was good. I think it was okay. It wasn't the worst decision I've ever made, but he made a mistake. It's a red card. And I think, I 5 is probably a little generous, honestly. But moving forward from him, Balde, impeccable. Every time he stepped into space, I was stressed to hell because there was very little support behind him, and it would have been dangerous for him to lose the ball in a few of the situations. But he ran through men like crazy, drew fouls, was really good. Was he the best attacking fullback in the world? No, but he was also a defensive fullback for the majority of it. Didn't have that much attacking responsibility. I mean, I thought he was a pleasure to watch play. He linked up with Pedri and then Casado when he came on really well. I think an 8.5 is probably the least of what he deserves, and I'm going to say the same for Araujo. I'm going to give him a 9 actually, because Araujo made so many blocks. It was ridiculous. The redemption on Araujo today. Wow. The guy was fantastic. He was everywhere, won every header, did everything we needed him to, was actually insane at defending. And that high line, right, where Szczesny took out the striker, that could have been a penalty. Araujo was in the match, and Inigo was the deepest player and held the high line well. So they did it. They did the high line thing successfully. So that's something to point out to you guys. But great game for him. Inigo was also very good. I think he got a stupid yellow card, which was, it's not something you want from your defender. He threw his shin guard down after spending a lot of time on the ground. Clearly very frustrated, but you can't do that, bro. You showed dissent right in the face after spending a lot of time on the ground. You're going to get a yellow card for that, and it's a bad mistake from him, right? I'm not sure what his accumulation numbers are so far in the Champions League, but again, it was an unnecessary card that puts unnecessary strain on our defenders, but it was okay because the guys turned it up. It smells like cigarette smoke in here for some reason, but I don't care. Szczesny, I'll do anything for you right now, my guy. It's actually incredible. These guys were ridiculous. Smoking isn't cool. Don't smoke, but Szczesny, smoke all you want. Koundé was equally fantastic as well. 8.5, did great overlapping in the beginning. Didn't get a ton of opportunity from that earlier on, and did a lot of really, really good defending. Everybody was just locked in together in a way that was beautiful for me to watch. I'm so proud of these boys. And then the midfield, oh my God, I'm so unfortunate Dani Olmo went out. I'll start with him because there isn't a ton to talk about. He was the unfortunate sacrifice to bring on Araujo since Kuari went out. And there's arguments to be made whether that was the right decision. I think they won today. And yeah, Dani Olmo would have offered a little bit more mobility than Lewandowski was, but Lewandowski is stronger, do more hold-up play, can help more on corners and things like that, and we suffered a ton of corners. So it wasn't a terrible decision, I don't think, at all. But Dani Olmo was good in the few minutes he had. It's unfortunate he wasn't able to get a goal. He had a decent finish on the ball that the Benfica keeper made a good save on. However, my boys, dude, Pedri, and I'll give Danny, like a 6, 6.5, 7. He did his job. It's not like he did anything wrong. But my boys, Frankie and Pedri, had themselves a day. I'm giving them both 9s. I think Pedri was better, but I think Frankie deserves a lot of credit because he had a lot of responsibility today. And the way the two of these guys played with Benfica, played around Benfica, did whatever they wanted, held possession, moved up the pitch, drew fouls, ridiculous. I'm actually going to give Pedri a 9.5 because he was that good. I think Frankie was really good as well, but showing that Pedri was better, I think, is important because he was insane. Frankie, great from Frankie. This was a game for Frankie de Jong. I know a lot of guys were critical of him for starting and wanted Casado instead. We needed to be able to break out of that pressure, especially early on, especially after that red card, because we wouldn't have been able to with just passing around. We needed someone to make a run past the players. Frankie was doing that a lot in a way. I don't know if Casado could. He might be able to. There's no reason for me to take down Casado there. Great job from Frankie today. Really, really well done. And then my forwards, man, it was a little bit of a frustrating game, especially from Rafinha in the beginning. Obviously, we'll get to that. But Lamine Yamal, I think, was really, really good, especially under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. He was able to find Rafinha with some of the craziest passes I've ever seen, like Trivela passes all over the place. It was ridiculous. He is so good. He's so good at this game, so good at breaking out of pressure. And I think Flick taking him out ended up being the right decision, obviously, but it was stressful, but he had to do a lot of moving. It's a lot of pressure. He is fasting. I think he broke it before the game. I was learning about how it works during the stream, but I don't hate the move of taking him out, and obviously it didn't end up being a terrible choice. Rafinha moving over there led to our goal. So, it is what it is. I'm going to give Lamine an 8. I think he was good and did what we needed to do. It's unfortunate he wasn't able to get that goal in the beginning, but I'm okay with it. Rafinha, I'm going to give him an 8.5 because I think he made some frustrating decisions, some weird choices with the pass. Maybe the smoke threw him off. Maybe he got debuffed while Szczesny got buffed. I don't know what happened. But that finish in the second half was incredible. It got a deflection off Otamendi. I don't care. Incredible work from Rafinha to win that ball there, put pressure, and do what he did. Oh, my God. That's a winner's mentality right there. And I'm so glad he's on my team. Lewandowski, I'm going to give him an 8 as well. I think he was okay. He linked up okay. Sure, he went down every 5 minutes, but realistically, I think he was okay. Did his job where we needed him to. And, part of the reason that I think we won this game. He defended pretty well a couple times and was there. I'm going to give him an 8. I think that's very fair. And then we get the subs real quick as well. We had Ferran Torres come in, who I think did his job. He ran okay, pressed okay, defended well, was able to track back and have that energy that a lot of guys didn't have in a pretty good, stressful moment. 6.5, probably 7, maybe. Casado came in as well, and Casado was good. He was able to keep that little close control relationship with Balde and then Pedri. And was able to bring a little bit more energy after Frankie came off, and you saw that too. You noticed it a little bit. I think a 7.5 is fair for him, and Gerard Martin as well. He made a couple really good defensive clearances with his head. He is tall. He's got to be like 6'2", 6'3". I think he's taller than Kubarsi. So hey, I was game for that, guys. Absolutely incredible job from these guys today. I think we got a little fortunate with some of the calls from the referee in the middle of the pitch where we could slow down the game a little bit. I don't think they were terrible because I think we got fouled a lot by these guys. They probably could have got more yellow cards than they did. But to walk out of this 1-0 up, away from home, down a man, I can't even put it into words. It's just so remarkable to see from my boys, and it felt like I don't deserve this. This is not what I get as a Barcelona fan. I haven't seen this in years. But we walked out of that. We fought through it. We had a winner's mentality, and we won. It was stressful, but we got something good today, boys. Enjoy yourselves. Do whatever you need to do to celebrate. That was incredible. Big up Szczesny. Big up all you guys that joined the Big Up stream today, and I'll have the links in the description if you're interested. And I'll see all you guys in the next one. Visca Barça. Peace.